a pair of the women's are down here. We can look at maybe beach volleyball. That might be one where there's a little bit of money, but how many women are going to get a chance to go play that, and for how long, and what is the actual earning potential? The reality is, at some point, collegiate athletics will end. Now what? And we should probably be having that conversation with athletes 6th, 7th, 8th grade. It should be about long-term healthy lifestyle and being active, not just about volleyball now, because there will be a sunset on volleyball. There'll be a sunset on softball. Does that kind of make sense? Does that answer the question?
No, yes, you did.
What else? Anybody?
Metabolism be reversed?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all you know.
And the only way to raise metabolism is build muscle. Like if we were to look at the biggest mistakes men and women, especially women, make with losing weight, this is the two biggest mistakes are they do lots of cardio or aerobics classes and they cut their calories. It won't work. It won't work. It'll work short term, but if you can't do it forever, it's not going to keep working. The other thing that happens, lots of cardio and low calories, is a good way to burn up your muscle. And once you start losing muscle, down goes your metabolism. So, secret is build muscle. If you want to look like you did in college, train like you did in college. And guess what you didn't do in college? You weren't on a stair stepper, a stair climber, an elliptical, a treadmill, or doing a step class if they still offer those. You weren't doing any of that stuff. You're lifting weights and playing volleyball. And again, that goes back to reaching the top row. Your top row is volleyball. You still like volleyball, right?
I do. I coach you all year long.
Play.
I do need to play more.
Play.
I don't play tonight.
Play.
Well, no, I can practice with them for like
That's.
I play with them for the first 10-15 minutes of practice.
Yeah, I would
Somebody's sweating today.
go back and play and then lift weights. And I had a guy like 12 years ago. I helped him lose, it's either 60 or 80 pounds. And he's like, I hate lifting weights. I don't want to take supplements. I blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, that's fine. You're fat and you're out of shape. You came to me and said you're unhealthy. You need to lift some weights. However, let's find your top row of blocks that you can easily reach. You said you really like tennis. Go down to the clock tower and go find out how you can sign up to play more tennis. He's like, seriously? I'm like, your goal is a couple hours a week of tennis, and then the other side is, and we teach this in our facility, like if you come in looking for a cheeseburger, we have to make sure you get a cheeseburger, but if we know you need a taco, we have to squeeze a side of tacos in. So for him, his cheeseburger was tennis. So his top row was great. Let's give him the top row. Let's give him the cheeseburger, but he's got to get a taco too. And the taco for him was, I said, 2 days a week you're in the weight room for around 45 minutes. I don't care what you do. Show up and do something. And he did. And he lost like the equivalent of 2 bags of salt for the water softener, or 2 bags of Quikrete, or 2 of the big plates in the gym, however you want to look at it. It's a ton of weight. And he's like, yeah, I feel like I'm not doing anything except playing tennis. Bingo, we won. What else you guys want to know? If I don't know the answer, I'll make it up. Yes.
So if you educate the kids, right,
yes.
like the middle schoolers or the high schoolers, they're not the ones that are buying the groceries for them at home necessarily. So then does it become their responsibility to teach their parents? Or then how do you educate the parents, the ones in charge?
So, all right. So if the kids aren't buying the groceries, how do you manage that? This is kind of a 2-part answer. Our part is, that's your job. You should be grabbing the parents at our place and having that conversation with mom and dad. And that is something we provide. If you're athletes, or if athletes come and train with us in our sports performance program, we will sit down and do this with them for an athlete. Okay? Because injury prevention, recovery is stymied or outright won't happen if we don't get food right. So we got to get the food right. And we'll do that with them. So in our facility, that's your job. From a coaching standpoint, you need to be honest with the parents and tell them, say, look, you're expecting us to build a winning program. You're expecting your son or daughter to maybe have a chance to play at college. And especially with the younger kids, they all think they're going on to college. Like last night, We went and watched figure skating and gymnastics, and I was thinking, yes, you know, my daughter's going to be a figure skater like these Olympic medalists, and the son's going to be a gymnast like the dude's doing the flips on the bars. And I'm like, oh my God, I've become that parent. So you need to talk to the parent from the standpoint of, if you want your son or daughter to be best at their sport, if you don't want your son and daughter going to the doctor with injuries, or you want them to recover and not have to drive to PT 3 days a week, we need to talk to you about nutrition. And one of the things that I do all the time with parents is I'll say, Bree, does your daughter have a job? No. Does your daughter drive? No. Does your daughter buy the grocery? No. She goes with sometimes. I'm like, okay, then you're the problem with the food, and you need to fix that. Otherwise, your daughter won't be able to go on and accomplish these things. But somebody needs to have the conversation, and unfortunately that conversation almost never happens, not with the parents. And some parents they don't want to hear it. You know, I had somebody call me, they had a kid was clinically obese. It was actually grandpa that called and wanted help for the grandkid. Well, the issue is mom and dad were chasing careers. Kid was home alone after school, and get this, they set the kid up with an account at the local pizza place. So every day, get home from school, dial up an order, delivery shows up, they drop it off, mom and dad get an invoice at the end of the month, pay it, and away they go. You can't do that. I can't help your grandkid if the parents won't turn off the spigot at the food place. Because the kid's not, I mean, I wouldn't. What would you guys want? Do you guys want pizza or cheese fries or cheese bread, or do you want some yogurt, some carrots, and maybe some mixed nuts? Pizza? So every day I call you guys and you bring pizza. I got it. Okay, come home, call, get pizza. So that conversation needs to happen, and it doesn't happen enough. In our facility, that's our job.
So how do we do that beyond athletics then, as a population type of thing? Instead, because the athlete population is very small when you look at it in whole. So beyond like coaches and the ones that take it seriously, and they're just in the classroom every day, and we teach them. How do we teach those?
So you have to give them a reason. And part of the way to the reason is, even for the parents, again, going back to my comments of the father of 4, if the parents set the example, the kids will model the parents' behavior because they want to be like mom and dad. They want mom and dad's approval. They want mom and dad's attention. So finding mom and dad's top row of blocks that mom and dad enjoy going up and reaching, encouraging mom and dad to do more of that, whatever the activity is. In our family, it's running. So the kids want to run. Why? Because grandma and mom do that. They want to be like that. So find the top row for the parents, encourage the parents to keep touching the top row, and the kids will follow suit. With the younger kids, I've always found this ironic. I'm not a video game person, even though I got an engineering degree. It's one of those weird things. Normally the two are married permanently together. If you look at kids that like play Xbox, like the Madden football or the NBA game, the hockey game, the baseball, I don't know what the names of them are. If you have a kid that will sit on the couch and play that sports video game, if you think that kid wouldn't enjoy playing the sport, you're crazy. He or she is not out playing that sport because they can't reach the top row of blocks. And sometimes it's a matter of like what we do in our facility, teaching them the basic mechanics of movement. And they're like, holy cow, I too can do this. Progress is the most motivating thing in the world. And when they start seeing, hey, I could actually do this, we've had, I don't know how many kids go on from not playing sports back to travel soccer, not playing sports back to travel softball, playing park district baseball to mom, can I play travel baseball? And then the holy cow phone call from mom, he wanted to play travel ball. We were real reluctant to spend the money because, to be honest with you, he was terrible at the park district ball. He made the all-star team and they asked him to travel. So it happens, but you got to show them the progress. Progress is motivating. Find the thing where they can reach the top row. If they're interested in playing video football, they'll play football. If they're interested in playing video basketball games, they're interested in basketball. If they're interested in playing the shoot-'em-up games, outside of just the shoot-'em-up aspect, they might be interested in the adventure runs, right? Obstacles, climbing over things, climbing under things, all that stuff. You got to find that top row. You got to show them that they can do it. You got to show them progress. That will keep them motivated. And it starts with some type of role model, whether it's somebody in the school, counselor, coach, teacher, the SRO, or whoever. Somebody has to set the example for their kids. other questions?
I ran the test with them. TB test.
Oh, the pacer test? Mm-hmm. She did.
That's
No, in the spring I did it.
Bless you.
what else do you guys want to know? I'll answer anything you want.
I feel bad about eating my cookie now.
I know.
Cookies, and that's so that don't. There's nothing wrong. I mean, that's
The coolest thing happened last night. They had a cookie exchange.
In preschool, every preschool kid had to bring 2 dozen cookies, and like we don't talk about weight. I don't talk about anything like that in front of the kids, especially our daughter. But they had a cookie exchange, and every kid, 20 some of them, had to bring 2 dozen cookies, and she came home, and her bag had like 5 cookies in it. I'm like, did you eat all of these? Well, come to find out, at 4, she's like, no, I want to be healthy. I gave some to Mrs. Hardback, her old teachers, different people, the babysitters. She gave a bunch to my wife. She's like, I don't need all those. I want to be healthy. So she gets to eat the cookies, she gets to eat the pizza, but we don't talk about it in front of her, and that's what she came up with. It was kind of cool.
and a lot of like our experience has been most of the time what happens. Everything revolves around if you're going to be successful, you can't have this. Don't eat this, and it's all these no's. Our approach, like when we work with adults or adolescents or sometimes kids, and usually if it's kids, we bring the parents in because we have to fix the parents if we want to fix the kids. What we do with Eat by Color is we get rid of the box. We find the things, we find the top row that you're already reaching on a daily basis, and we encourage you to do more of that. And then we may say, you know what, you're here now, but we may gradually get you to stretch and reach in a way that you realize you're doing more than you could initially. Again, that's progress, and progress is motivating. So we do, when we do Eat by Color, there's sometimes we'll see with some folks, hey, look, you had pizza and fast food 5 out of 7 days last week, and you didn't even remotely make a good decision. You ate garbage. That's got to stop. But most of the time we don't see that. We see the occasional cookie and stuff. And part of the reason the occasional cookie is we're encouraging them. Hey, you like to have protein shakes. It's fast, convenient, portable, so you can drink it on your way out the door. You're always running late. Great, do more of that. You really like eating this particular higher fiber bread or like a folded or flat out wraps, which is what we use. Great, do more of that. Seriously, I can do more of that. Yeah, you can make a pizza out of it? You're kidding. Yeah, here's how you make a pizza. We encourage people to do more of the stuff they like doing. And as long as you like doing it and you're good at it, hey, you know what? I can do the protein shake. I already confidently, my esteem, everything already says that I believe I can do that. So we just encourage you to do more of what you believe you can do. And we don't highlight the don't do this, can't have that, not allowed this, don't eat carbs, only broccoli, only white fish. It's ridiculous. And when you do things that way, we talk in terms of like a month. If you get 25 out of 30 days that are pretty good, the other 5 or 6 days won't matter. And if we stack those months up for a year, we're going to end up with 300 pretty good days and an awesome year, and the other 65 won't matter. And the other 65 are called living. It's the holidays. Have the cookies. There may be people you sit at a table, break bread with, share a drink, share a dessert. They may not be here next year. So share the cookies, enjoy them, do more of the little things well. Yeah, no guilt eating. And that's the other thing. We encourage people to not feel guilty. I mean, even if you did go way overboard, drop anchor at the local buffet and pig out for 8 hours, just get up tomorrow and start over, okay? It's done, it's over. No guilt, let's just move on. It's life. You can kill the video.